This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. The Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club has been very successful since starting their volunteer examiner program and giving amateur radio exams again. At the very first exam given on February 19th, James Crutcher of Georgetown, Kentucky, now KQ4PCL, took and passed his technician class license. Since that time, James has taken and passed his general and amateur extra class exams. Congratulations to him. Since then, 6 individuals have passed their technician class amateur radio license exams, the most recent being on April 15th when Greg Howard, Dan Latang, Sean McDonough, and Dale Wade all passed their technician class exams. Dale Wade then took the general class exam and passed it, becoming an instant general. Congratulations to all the new hams who have obtained their license to enter this great hobby. You too can become an amateur radio operator. If you would like to take the test at the next Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club meeting, contact Mark Volstead, AI4BJ at MVOLSTAD at TWC.com. Speaking of the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club, President Todd Sayers, KY4TLS, announced that the membership is now at 53 paid members. The excitement and enthusiasm of the club is phenomenal. Their exciting programs and outreach projects are bringing newcomers into the amateur radio hobby. What the new leadership has done to turn this club around in just 4 short months with the adversity they faced is remarkable. Congratulations to the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club leadership team for a job well done, including President Todd, KY4TLS, Vice President Matt, K4NKU, Director Steve, WW1BEE. They have truly lived up to their motto that the club is all about its members. Are you ready for Hamvention? This week, Mark Stephen Williams, K9GX, talks with Michael Coulter, WHCI Hamvention Chair, about this year's Hamvention.
Hamvention 2024 is happening May 17th through the 19th at the Greene County Fair and Expo Center in Xenia, Ohio. Michael Coulter, Whiskey 8 Charlie India, is Hamvention spokesman, and he's my guest today on the AB4WS radio show. How are you today, sir?
Hey, I'm having a great day.
Now, the theme for Hamvention 24 is expanding our community. Tell me a little bit about that and what we're looking to achieve there.
Well, what we looked at when we came up with that is that we want to expand the amateur radio community. And you know, when you have a theme, you just have a few words because it could mean so much. And in this case, it means not just bringing in youth, although we are working hard at bringing in youth, but bringing in, you know, people from all over, in all walks of life, male, female, whatever age, and we need to expand the community.
I guess it's safe to say that the ham radio population is aging. I think we want to get young people interested and involved, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you're certainly not mistaken. But I guess the definition of a young person would be, you know, could be a lot of different things. When I go to different Hamfests, and even in our own Hamvention, you know, there's a lot of particularly a gray color of the hair, sort of the frosted flake.
If there's any hair left.
Yeah. But you think about it, there's a lot of people, male and female, in their 20s and 30s and 40s who are getting much more interested. And I see that in the different YouTube outreaches and the YouTube trainings that they have, and even the group discussions they have. It's just really exciting. And it's an exciting time to be an amateur radio operator when you look at all the new equipment and how fast the technology is moving. You know, with it's moved to be much more of a visual hobby as well, because a lot of people, including me, I've got these big screens up and I can watch how my radio's doing with waterfalls and everything, and I can run it. I got a program that runs it all, and I can run everything with a mouse and a foot switch for the microphone if I want, or just set things up digitally. But then, you know, you've got the ham clock program, you've got the geochron programs, you've got so many programs. that you can use. So it becomes very visual. With QRZ, you know who you're talking to generally. So, Hamvention and expanding our community, it's important for all of us, not just to go after young people or new people that just because maybe they'll make a good contester, but to give them a broader education about what amateur radio can do and how powerful it really is.
Tell me a little bit about the highlights of the scheduled forums for 2024.
We've got the DX forums. It'll be going on. We got a contesting forum. We have different user group forums. We'll have POTA forums. We have Carol Perry has a wonderful youth forum where she showcases youth from basically all over the world if they can get here.
She has the school club up in, New York?
Well, not a school club so much. She came from New York, but she works a lot with Hamvention and with other organizations, ham organizations, in working with young people. And but she's phenomenal. I know Hamcation has an award they named after her. It's the Carol Perry Teachers Award. And but Carol is she puts on a wonderful forum. Excuse me. It's not all about her. It's like I said, she has these young people that present. She works with them, and it gives the young people confidence in being able to speak in front of people about amateur radio. It gives them confidence that they truly understand, whatever topic that they're talking about in amateur radio. And we've had, I know a few years ago, she had one of her, she calls them Carol's kids, had been suffering from autism, and just came through with flying colors with a lot of good coaching. And I think that was a big breakthrough for that young person. We've had people from, like I say, all over the world, even from India. And Carol she's able to stay in touch with a lot of these young people. And it's important that we all do, to stay in touch. If they email you, email back and let them know what you're doing. Or if they have a question, try to help them, because that's the thing that will immediately get people turned off is, well, they never answered me. They never
Right.
got back to me, and they
Right.
forgot. And that drives people out of the hobby, because once you get into the hobby, you want to maybe meet some like-minded people and really kind of pull the minds together and learn. But I do want to say that we will have a special event station, and people are welcome to come there, use that station, and usually we have pretty good donations of radios, new top-line radios to use during that event. And that's kind of an exciting thing to do. And, if you're a young person or even maybe your first time there, you can come and sit down with them and say, I'm a new guy or a new gal. I'd like to, learn a little bit more about this.
And what is that Whiskey 8 Bravo India? Is that right? As my memory served me that well there?
That's right. Whiskey 8 Bravo India. That's right.
And that will be on. So guess, because I remember seeing it last year, and you could just walk up, and if somebody was operating there, figure out till they're done, and then sit in and actually log a few QSOs, right?
Exactly right. And we encourage people to do that. That's a lot of fun. And plus, you get a chance to kind of maybe try out some of the new top line radios. I know that ICOM, Yaesu, and in the past Kenwood, all the major folks have donated radios for us to use. And by the way, we also are going to have a major amount of prizes this year. We're pleased to at what we're getting in prizes. Even RF Kit, which is a new prize donor, is donating one of their full limit amplifiers as a major prize this year. And,
really?
So yeah, but I encourage people to look at the website, which is www.hamvention.org, and there's tons of information in there, and we're updating it all the time. And if you need a place to stay, I'm saying, don't waste any more time trying to decide if you're going to come. Just come, and make your reservation now. If you have a hard time finding the reservation, and we have a pretty exhaustive list on our website, you can link into it. But the Greene County Convention Visitors Bureau will help too. They keep in touch with all the hotels, especially if there's last minute additions that they'll know about, where you think something might be completely full up. There may have been somebody that can't make it or switched or whatever. So that's a really good resource as well.
So this is a link on the Hamvention website that people can go to in terms of housing?
Yes, and and also there's places to camp now. I know RVers we have at the fairgrounds, it's a big area for RVs, but the problem is it just books out the day that they become available. All the sites get taken, and right now there's a big waiting list. But I would say if there's any way possible, if you want to camp, try to get to there's a place just south of Xenia. When I say just south, maybe about 8 miles, maybe at the most 10, but I'd say maybe about 8 miles or so. And it's called Caesars Creek State Park. And it's a really nice park. And most of it's been upgraded. Lots of full service there. And where there's not full service, there's excellent electric hookup. And there's showers there. They keep it up pretty good. It's right on the lake.
That's an RV park?
Well, it's not an RV park. It's a state park.
Okay.
But every single site is RV compatible.
Visit hamvention.org for ticket reservations, local hotel, motel, and camping information, alternative activities, and the ARRL Events app where you can coordinate activities with friends. Next week, I'll discuss 2024 Hamvention Awards, vendors, forums, and more with Michael. Until then, this is Mark Stephen Williams, Kilowatt 9 Germany X-Ray for the AB4WS radio show.
Are you wondering what to do with those Eclipse glasses? Well, you could help out a lot if you would bring those glasses with you to the Dayton Hamvention and drop them off at the Hamvention Youth on the Air booth, number 4304, so they can be used with the Argentinian campers at the 2024 Youth on the Air Americas Camp, where they'll be watching an eclipse in October. Sad news to report that Virgil Morton, KF4YP of Berea, Kentucky, has become a silent key. Virgil was a regular on the Kentucky phone net. Our prayers to his family and friends. On April 20th, the KY4ARC Eastern Kentucky Club will hold a Parks on the Air activation event at the Paintsville Lake State Park, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and continue until about 4:30 p.m. They're inviting everyone to stop out and join them. They'll be using the Paintsville 147.225 repeater with a PL tone of 127.3 for talk-in. On April 20th, the MONIX South Group will be meeting at 6 p.m. at Donato's Pizza, 15 Donnemeyer Drive in Bellevue, Kentucky. Come on out and grab some pizza and share all the radio monitoring that you have been doing. If you're interested in amateur radio emergency communications in Northern Kentucky, come to the Amateur Radio Emergency Team of Northern Kentucky meeting on April 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road, Independence, Kentucky. This group is really getting organized. The Pioneer Amateur Radio Club will be meeting on April 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at the Golden Corral in Winchester, Kentucky. They'll be electing a new vice president and updating the club's constitution. On April 27th in Western Kentucky, Aries will hold a drill from 8 a.m. Central Time on the W4NJA 146.060 repeater with a PL tone of 179.9. April 27th is the Ohio Aries NVIS Day. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., stations will set up near vertical incident skywave HF stations, testing their communications on HF throughout the state of Ohio. This setup works to provide reliable radio coverage, generally in a 400-mile radius. In times of emergency, critical incidents, and natural disasters, these communications are extremely important. For more information on this event and NVIS, go to awrl-ohio.org. aba4wS.org/SEC/NVIS_day. Steve, NATFD, is looking for volunteers for this year's Flying Pig Marathon with activities May 1st through May 5th. The volunteer website is up and going at flyingpigmarathon.volunteerlocal.com. Use the password AHAM. If you have questions or problems, reach out to Steve, NATFD, at natfd@fuse.net. Another great event to volunteer for is Paddlefest, where amateur radio operators provide communications for safety and logistics for the big Paddlefest event on the Ohio River. There are positions both on the river and on the shore. If you would like to volunteer for this fun event, email Rick, KD4PYR, at KD4PYR@ARRL.net. On May 7th, the OHKYIN Amateur Radio Society will hold their meeting at 7:30 p.m. at the Laughlin Church of the Nazarene, 335 West Wyoming Avenue in Laughlin, Ohio. Stephen Gallagher, KEATEY, will be providing the group with information on portable solar power. The meeting will be both in person and over Zoom. For more information on how to log in via Zoom, go to OHKYIN.org. The National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting, in conjunction with the Westchester Amateur Radio Association, announced expanded hours of the museum during the 2024 Hamvention. They'll be open for Thursday, May 16th from 1 to 9 p.m., Friday, May 17th from 1 to 9 p.m., Saturday, May 18th from noon to 9 p.m., Sunday, May 19th from noon to 5. Admission is $10 at the door. Their amateur radio station, WCAVOA, will be on the air to operate. The museum is a short drive from Hamvention down Interstate I-75 or Route 42 from Xenia. New exhibits include a dedicated room for amateur radio and shortwave equipment, newly renovated ham shack with state-of-the-art equipment from Yaesu, ICOM, and Elecraft. Amateur radio operators will be available to enhance your visit to the museum. For further information, go to voamuseum.org or wc8voa.org. They also have a Facebook page at National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting. Regular hours are Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. They are located at 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio, 45069.
Do you know where the action's at?
Looking to hear stations from all over the world? Well, that worldwide action is on Brandmeister Talkgroup 91, the worldwide talk group, where you'll hear lots of activity with QSOs with stations from all over the world, especially on Saturdays where the international net goes all around the world to take check-ins in a truly international radio net. So if you're looking for signals from all over the world, tune that DMR radio to Brandmeister Network Talkgroup Worldwide 91 for where the action is.
Hamfests.
April 27th is the Tusco Amateur Radio Club Hamfest at the Tuscarawas County Fairgrounds, 259 South Tuscarawas Avenue in Dover, Ohio. April 28th is the Athens Hamfest at the Athens Community Center, 701 East State Street in Athens, Ohio. May 5th is the Lucas County Aries Trunk Sale and Swap Meet at the Toledo Speedway, 5639 Benore Road in Toledo, Ohio. Starting on May 11th and running through May 16th is the RV Radio Network Hamfest at the Berlin RV Park, 5898 State Route 39 in Millersburg, Ohio. Talk in on 146.520 Simplex. May 17th through May 19th is the granddaddy of all Hamfests, the Dayton Hamvention at the Greene County Fairgrounds, 210 Fairgrounds Road in Xenia, Ohio.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On April 20th, the Dial Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio testing session at 9 a.m. at the Fairfield Township Administration Building, 6032 Morris Road in Hamilton, Ohio. Go to www.qsl.net/W8BLV and click on exams. For more information, contact Thurl Golden, KD8VLU at 513-939-4891. On April 23rd at 6 p.m., an amateur radio license exam session will be held at the Anderson County Extension Building. Use the rear entrance, lower level, 1026 County Park Road in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. For more information, contact Brian Carter, KI4TLW at 502-545-0376. On April 27th at 10 a.m., the Wilderness Road Amateur Radio Club is sponsoring a testing session at the American Legion, post number 46, number 45 Spears Lane in Danville, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions. For more information, contact Carol Miller, AF6MB, at 541-602-6535. On May 11th, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will hold an exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On May 11th at 10 a.m., the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will hold an amateur radio testing session at the Red Cross Building in Classroom A at 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/KE4MAI. For more information, contact Fernie Williams, KE4MAI at 859-536-3393. June 8th, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will hold an amateur radio exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Pre-registration is required at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On June 8th at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WX4GPS. Special thanks to this week's content contributors: K9GX, KE4WA, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.